STEM, I'm going to walk you through the Robot Challenge project. Now this is summative, and I just wanted to create this video for you to go back to and look if you had any reminders, or if you're working a little bit ahead, or if you're a little bit behind and maybe missed something. I'm going to tell you exactly what is expected with this project and what you're going to be doing. Now you're going to be creating your very own robot challenge. And maybe you've been thinking as we've been doing these different challenges like, oh, robots would be really good at helping people with this type of job, or I've seen a video of robots doing this and I would love to try that with my ED3. And now it's time for you to do that. I have lots of supplies in the classroom to use, including things like balls and flashlights and craft supplies, so don't limit yourself. Think wide and wild and about what types of jobs that you think that robots can help with. Now this does need to be different than something that we've already done. Let's just say with the public transportation challenge with the barricades, you can't just say, well, a robot is now a car instead of a bus and is going to go back and forth between these two. Really use this to extend your learning as much as you possibly can. I'm excited for the different things that you're going to come up with. Now your challenge must use a sensor to complete this mission. The only sensor that we haven't used yet is the touch sensor, and you can use the touch sensor. You can also add onto your programming if you think that you have the ability that medium motor to be able to do something extra as well. Each team member will complete the assignment that goes along with this, each team member, and as many times as I say that over the next few days, someone will still not turn it in and say that they thought only one person needed to. Each team member completes the assignment that goes along with this. I do need evidence it is summative like a project or a test. That being said, we are near the end of the quarter. I'm going to grade very fairly. Do your best with this, and I think that I can assess you fairly, all right, to make sure, because we're up against the end of the quarter. Here's some examples of this, the sensors that we have used. We have the light sensor, which can be reflected light, ambient light, or color. Lots of options there. We have the ultrasonic sensor for distance, and we have the touch sensor, which we haven't used, but has a little button on the end. And when it bumps into something, you can have it do something. Or it could be used something like a remote control or perhaps an on-off switch. Now you can use more than one sensor. That's totally cool. Make sure that your abilities match up with that, or try to do one first and then add in another. You will need to write a challenge description. What would another student need to know about the background of your challenge in order to complete it? What are they going to simulate, and what are they trying to accomplish? If you need examples of challenge descriptions, each of the assignments that we've completed so far has a challenge description in it. You can go back and read those short paragraphs and write something similar to that on your own. Now remember, each team member completes this assignment that we're talking about. Each team member submits a completed project. You also need to provide some inspiration and motivation. You want students to be able to visualize how this is going to be used outside the classroom. And you're going to find a video for inspiration and motivation to complete the challenge. Now, it could be more than one video or parts of certain videos. Something similar, right? Think back to our robotic restaurant, or to go for it riding on a bus. These are things that are similar to what our robots are going to be doing. Maybe not exactly, right? Now, you might find some motivation or inspiration in the discussion board, where we looked for videos of robots doing jobs or being helpful to humans. Those kind of leading up to this project, look in your discussion board or think of the videos that you saw when you were searching for a video for that assignment a couple Wednesdays ago. Now your program must use at least one sensor programming block, and then you will need to add another programming block that you would like students to use to complete the challenge. Remember, as we worked through these different assignments with our robots, we said, okay, we're going to start with the color sensor sensing color. Next, we're going to try to add to that the color sensor sensing color and responding to it. Right? So think about what programming blocks that you would like students to use to complete your challenge. You need at least two of them. One should be related to the sensor that you're using. You also need to write out the pseudocode. What are the suggested steps to complete this challenge? And remember, each team member completes the challenge document, and that goes along with this. Each team member turns in a completed project. We'll need a screenshot of your completed challenge code, or as close as you can get to it. Sometimes we run out of time, and that's okay. Do your best and try to get a challenge that works. And then formative extra credit related to this, if you have a little bit of extra time, you can come up with an extension badge that students could be, that could use to extend student learning. More information about that, ask me questions. I will help you through that part if you finish early. Now, this is how you are going to be graded. It is a 10-point summative assignment, and the grading rubric is in Schoology. But we need a real-world task that can be performed by the robot, and you have a description and a video of how it's going to work. You need a sensor that is appropriate and used for the challenge. Make sure it is the type of sensor. If you're sensing color, you're using color sensor, not the ultrasonic sensor. You're going to write out the pseudocode to the best of your ability for completing the challenge, and then submit a screenshot of the code, the completed challenge code, to go along with it. The best part is students design a challenge that is so well done it could be used next quarter. Wouldn't it be cool if we could use your challenge in the next quarter? Now remember, each team member completes the assignment that goes along with this challenge, and each team member turns it in. Our plan is that on Tuesday and Wednesday we'll have work days, along with Monday, depending on when you're seeing this video. Monday the 8th will either be an introduction, or if you're watching this ahead of time, you can start working right away on Monday. And then on Thursday, November 11th, we're going to finish and turn things in. I'll give you many reminders, but that is sort of the last and final. It needs to be done because it's the end of the quarter and you're moving on to something like health or art, life essentials, or possibly computer science. So you are allowed to use extra parts and supplies. Just ask me about that and I'll show you where things are. But everything needs to be put back by the end of the class on the 11th. So if you're taking things out, you know that you're responsible for putting them back. I can't clean up everything on my grading and planning day. I have to get your information into the grade book. All right? And here is an example project from students that have done things in the past. They also built a base, which I don't have right here in front of this video, that had cups on it that were different color cups. And they used a color sensor to go around and seek out a different color cup and say something like "see life detected" and say the color. So they wrote out their pseudocode. Their robot traveled around until it found a color cup, which was supposed to represent a type of coral. And they had a video that went along with this that showed how underwater explorers find things and use robot fingers to collect samples of coral that they then preserve. All right, so hopefully this is a good introduction to our project. It's a lot of fun. Students have a great time with it. I wish you the best.